So this is Ramanuj Mukherjee from Law Sikho, and you are welcome to this session. We are going to talk about how to be a great junior lawyer, right? Recently, we're doing a session with our students in the course that we have for legal practice management, and there were several lawyers who run their law practices. They all pointed out how one of the biggest problems to growing their practice is not that it is difficult to get clients, but it is difficult to get good juniors. Okay, what do they mean by that? So let me like explain a little bit on this. That what do you mean when you say it's hard to get a good junior? So imagine that you are running a law practice and you're doing well. There are a lot of clients coming through the door. There are that like you have enough work. Okay, you have enough work, but how do you grow? Like beyond the point, you cannot handle all your work alone. And it is sometimes said that a lawyer is only as good as the team that is backing you up. So in that case, when you have all that problem solved because you're a good lawyer, you get work. It's not like there's a huge demand for good lawyers in this country. So the bigger problem that most people face is that once I have the work, how do I deliver that work in a good way? How can I deliver high quality work? How can I scale my work so that even if I am doing good work, I need to ensure that my juniors who I hired to do work, they are also doing as well. And that is a big challenge because people are not really uh, so good at doing that work. And training juniors is a massive problem for most lawyers. So it is not such a problem most of the time to hire a junior because there are so many juniors, like so many junior lawyers out there. There are over 1 lakh seats that are there out there in all the various law schools. So a lot of young lawyers are graduating every single year, but when it comes to productivity, when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to skills that they bring on table, they do not always bring something that lawyers can be very happy with, something that lawyers can really look forward to, something that uh, senior lawyers can really work with. And that means that much of the challenge is finding junior lawyers who have to be first trained. They have to be given a lot of training for them to be able to be productive. And when they become trained enough to be productive, they leave the job, they find better jobs, or they just start their own practice. So this is a big problem. So what seniors are facing is that they are getting juniors who do not know how to do the work, and they are expected to teach the work to the juniors. And when the juniors learn the work, they are leaving to do their own work. So then what is the incentive for a senior lawyer to teach the work to the junior lawyer? Yet, most of for most of history, the way legal profession has been taught and has been handed down, legal skills have been handed down from seniors to juniors, right? So this has been a massive problem because how do juniors complain that the seniors are not serious about their training, and the seniors are like, why should I train this person? So most of the time, seniors are using juniors to get passovers, to go and meet the client and collect the check, and basically for menial tasks which does not involve much brain work, okay, or it does not require them to train the junior much. Now this is really bad for the junior. Of course, it's not at all good for the junior that this is how the seniors are looking at things. But unfortunately, this is a problem that is there in the entire legal market. What are Passover? The Arti asking what is a Passover? A Passover is so it's like this. So imagine that I'm a senior lawyer and I have today matter in 5 different courts, and it is very hard to predict when my matter will be called, right? So maybe I have planned that, okay, first I go to this court and then I go to that courtroom, then I go to another courtroom. But in reality, what happens is that, everything comes up together. So I cannot be in the multiple places at the same time. So I'll send a junior to the other court to request the judge to take the matter on a later time. So maybe later in the day or another day, saying that my senior is busy in so and so courtroom, cannot appear. He was expecting to be here, but he cannot come right now. Can you please, defer the matter? Can you hear it later? This is a passover. And it's a very useful thing for a lawyer. Senior lawyers, when they cannot appear, they need to take a passover. They need a smart enough junior to go get the passover. But at the same time, it's not so amazing for the junior to, like, of course, maybe the first few times it is nice. It kind of gives you the confidence to go and speak in front of the judge, and you get used to standing in front of the judge and talking. But beyond that, it is not that, it doesn't have much utility after a point of time. So that's how it works. Okay. All right. So let us understand, what do you think that a senior wants from a junior lawyer? Okay. So if I'm a senior lawyer and I'm looking to hire a junior, what do you think that I'll be expecting from that junior? What would be really useful for me? What would be really wonderful to have for me to have in that junior that would really serve my objective? Okay. I want to take your answer. I want you to think and answer this question. That, imagine that you're a senior lawyer and you're going to hire the junior. What qualities do you want to see in the junior? What are the tasks that you want the junior to do? What would you wish that if the junior could do this, that would really help my career? And I know many of you here are actually practicing lawyers. I can see so many practicing lawyers who are already working. You might even have juniors of your own. I'm asking you this question, that please help us out by answering this question in the chat, that what are the things that you want your juniors to be able to do that would really help you in your practice. Okay. Lakshmi Pillai is saying drafting skills, good understanding and interpretation of laws. Okay, what else? So if a junior is good at drafting and has good understanding and ability to interpret laws, is that enough? Many such, what else would you expect? Ajinkya is saying basic drafting, Niharika Sinha is saying communication skills. Anybody who has juniors, what work do you give to your juniors? Anybody here, please? There are some 39 people in this class. I don't know what the others are doing. Please participate in the class. This is not a lecture that you passively sit and listen to. Participate in the class. Type out in the chat. Come online if you want and speak up if you like. But participate in the class. If you were a senior lawyer, what kind of skills do you want to see in the junior? What kind of work do you want to give to your juniors? What work, if the junior did, you will be extremely happy and pleased? And what kind of work can the junior do that will really contribute to you growing your practice? Okay. Ankit, where this saying giving smart brief? Yes. So this is also a valuable skill. So when you are a lawyer in the Supreme Court or High Court and you are a busy arguing counsel, you have a lot of matters. Because you can't go through everything yourself, you want your juniors to brief you in a matter in a certain manner. They tell you the case law, they tell you the previous, how the what are the facts of the case, how the paperwork is laid out. When they brief you in a nice way, and I know that senior lawyers in the Supreme Court, they pay their juniors 40,000, 50,000 per month, and simply because they want really good briefing juniors. Okay, they want good English, they want good knowledge of law, they want the ability to understand what is important, what is not important. And it's hard to get those jobs, but literally those people just brief their seniors, nothing else, and they get paid for that. Okay, so Ankit Ved, good one. Okay, Ajinkya is saying ability to understand legal processes. Yeah, so your knowledge of process, your knowledge of filing, your knowledge of the registry, your knowledge of how the court clerks function, all of that is pretty important, right? So that you definitely want from a junior. Okay. We have Ravindra Mitra. What is he saying? Reading a brief and help the senior in preparing arguments, since seniors are generally too busy to go through voluminous briefs. Yes, agreed. Reading a brief and helping the senior in directing and guiding them, and even when you are in the court and you need to find the right document, or the court asks for a reference, if the junior is at hand and is able to quickly provide that to the senior, that is a life-saving thing a lot of times and really valued. All seniors want to have such juniors. Harsh Kedia is saying good research and analysis skills. So good research and analysis skills are very important, Harsh, but on their own they are nothing. Okay, on their own they are nothing. They have to result in outcome. For example, judge asked me a question and I never researched on it. I'm an arguing counsel, but my junior quickly gives me the material or whispers in my ear what I need to say because he knows more about the matter than I do. So that kind of knowledge and ability, and that is where research and analysis skills really come in handy. Tiger Khan has raised his hand. So Tiger, do you want to come online and speak up? You're most welcome to do so. I'll wait for you. Tiger Khan, you have a question? You want to say something? Please come online. Tiger, I have unmuted you, Tiger. You want to speak? You're unmuted. Please speak up, Tiger. Nothing. He doesn't want to speak. He just raised hand as an experiment, maybe. I don't know. What is the issue? Okay. So those of you, if you raise your hand, if you have a reason to speak, please raise your hand. Don't raise your hand otherwise, don't experiment with the features. There are a lot of features in the software. Don't experiment with all the features that will disturb the class unnecessarily. Okay. So going back to Shubham Agarwal is saying, take responsibility to deliver. And now we are talking, who's there? Who's there? Who's Divyansh Dubey. Listen, guys, you need to stay muted, okay? Don't unmute yourself unnecessarily. Your background noise is disturbing all the around 40 people who are in this session. Don't do that. Thank you. Okay, so that I Shubham, really appreciate that what you have written here, taking responsibility for delivering quality work. So I have seen so many times that clients are angry, clients have left, clients refuse to pay bills because juniors have messed up the work. Maybe they drafted the thing wrong, maybe they put in a clause which is bad, maybe they have forgot to file something, forgot and go on and said the wrong thing before the court, like negligent stuff. Okay, and this is very very common. Juniors doing that, and that's a massive reason why lawyers lose clients, law firms lose clients. I have seen, junior lawyers have forgotten to do a compliance. A deal has been closed and the firm had to do the compliance, file whatever FCGPR form or whatever else, inform the competition commission, and the intern, like the junior lawyer with 1 or 2 year experience forgets to do all that work. Forgets, doesn't tell anybody, forgets about it. And after 1 year, the client is screwed or has to pay a huge fine or whatever. Law firm is like really in trouble over all these things, and these are regular things that happen. So if you do that, you really want uh, your junior to able to deliver quality work, to understand what is to be done, the responsible position they're at. They need to understand and they need to deliver quality, or they need to take responsibility. Most juniors do not take any responsibility. They're like, hey, I was just a law student, now I'm a lawyer here, but I don't know anything. You're supposed to teach me. Hello, you're supposed to teach me and tell me what to do. You didn't tell me I have to file that form. Sorry, that doesn't work. A lawyer is so busy, they do not have time to babysit you, tell you exactly what to do, where to go. What you have to be, if you're a junior who's proactive, figures things out, you'll be trusted, you'll be given responsibilities. Otherwise, you'll be shunted out. You'll be sidelined. You'll be photocopying and reading the old files or whatever. Like that is how it works most of the time, and that is why lawyers always complain that we are able to get enough clients, but who's going to do that work? Am I going to do the work on my own by myself, or am I going to have a team? Building a team is damn difficult because finding good juniors who are competent is so hard. Okay, that's a great opportunity for most of you. If you can become a junior who understands all these things, able to deliver all these things, take responsibility and ensure that things are on track, then you can be a very trusted lieutenant. You can be a lawyer who will be very appreciated as a junior lawyer, right? You can earn more money. Everything is possible. So next, Vishnu has unmuted himself again. Now, please stay muted, everybody. Please stay muted. Don't disturb the class. Unless you want to speak, then you raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. Okay? You raise your hand. There's a feature called raise your hand. You can use that. Okay, Twinkle Mangaonkar is saying ability to listen and carry out the task effectively. Absolutely, right? Your ability to listen and carry out the task effectively is very important. Most juniors don't listen. If you tell them something, they hear something else, they do something else. It's a big problem. So, juniors who are able to get the instruction clearly and carry out the instruction the way it was given are valuable assets. They're appreciated even just for their diligence. Okay, excellent answer, Twinkle. Then we have Lakshmi Pillai saying good research work, and when the senior lawyer gives basic facts, then junior lawyer need to understand the case and deal with it further. Yeah, so in a lot of chambers, you are expected to take the case forward, especially in law firms, right? You are, as a junior lawyer, your job is to take it forward, get the drafting done, get the filing done, get the making sure that whoever is appearing is informed, is in time, is actually gets done, the client gets the result, all of that you might be given and asked to do. You are at least expected to be a good administrator as a junior lawyer. If you are not a good lawyer, no problem. You better be a good administrator at the least. At the least, Udita is saying, Shaharsh making brief. Sure, agreed. Udita is saying research work, handling court cases in different courts. Sure, we discussed this. Researching case laws again. Sure, handling delegated works well. Sure. Lakshmi Pillai manage the time properly. Yes, like an administrator to manage the time, timeline, everything. Should do all the things that a senior does to make his life easier. Yeah. So you can look at it this way. Like one way to look at it is that what does the senior do? What are his weak links? What are the things he's not so good at? So he will need help with those things. So if you are a junior who anticipates the need of your senior and is able to plug the gaps that your senior leaves, so that is very high level of work. That is very high level of competence. If you can do that, even you are a top performer, you are like top 1%, cream of the cream. Okay, and such juniors are coveted, and like seniors don't have hesitate to pay well to such people, right? Yeah, so make your seniors life easier. That should be one of your priorities. Ram Prasad is saying aiding in research or case filing is good communication skill. Sure. Tiger Khan has asked me privately, are there any suggestions on how we should research for a particular topic? None today. We'll discuss that another day. Everyone being updated with latest amendments of the act and also being updated on the developments. Yeah, sure, why not, definitely. But this is not the primary work. I would more say, think of it like this, that you are able to assist, you are able to make your senior successful because you know the latest case law. So if knowing latest case law helps you to assist your senior more effectively, if it helps you to make your senior more successful, then it is totally worth it. Divyansh Dubey wants to speak. Yeah, Divyansh, come online and speak if you like. Sonali Nagar is saying, apart from studies and basic knowledge, what are the skills a law student needs? I mean, studies and basic knowledge is fine, but skills, you need legal skills. You need to learn legal work so that you can help your seniors, right? Madhav, I'm telling my juniors to be good admins first. Yes, you have to be an excellent administrator if you want to be a good lawyer. Okay, guys, so we have run through all the suggestions. Now I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that to be a good junior is to make your senior successful. And the number Divyansh is saying, I saw one of your video where you emphasized more upon skills that can make money. Can we discuss this? Yeah, but we are, so there's a difference. So skills that make money is very critical. Now, if sometimes your senior is not looking at you to make money in the initial years. They are looking at you to assist them. They are the captain, they are the main player, they are the main actors, they are the lead actors. You are in a supporting role when you're a junior lawyer. So yeah, so from that perspective, I would say that you don't worry about you making money, you worry about your senior being able to make more money. So you should have an understanding of how that can happen. Sometimes that means that yes, your senior gets work and you do it and he earns more money. Because you have the ability to get that work done, he earns more money, right? And he can happily delegate that work to you and leave it to you and get it done. So every senior loves the juniors, and if you are that kind of a junior, then you can expect to get paid well. You can expect to be treated in a special way. How, what is a good junior? A good junior is somebody who's attentive to making the senior more successful. Okay, if you are there and because of you the seniors productivity goes up, if because you are there your seniors fallibility reduces. For example, they make fewer mistakes before the judge because you are so good at organizing things, you are so good at giving the right kind of briefing, you are so good at predicting questions. So this really helps. That is the job of a good junior. Okay, so if you want to be a good junior, what are the skills that you need? Of course, you need to know the law. Of course, you need to be good at research. You need to think on your feet. You need to be, but most importantly, you have to be highly organized, right? What I see again and again is that a lot of law students, they are not organized. They grow up in an environment where they have to give the exam and they have to pass, and that's it. As long as you pass the exams, as long as you maybe graduate from one class to another class and the marks is decent, and mostly universities give good marks to anybody and everybody these days. So as long as that is happening, you are safe, right? But that does not work. So a lot of us are used to working at the last moment, managing it on the stage. I'll manage it somehow at the last moment. That is the attitude that most young lawyers have. And that is where they fail very much when they go to the court and when they try to work with senior lawyers, because senior lawyers cannot afford that. Okay, you cannot do things in the last moment, you cannot manage things in the last moment. You have to get rid of that habit. You have to create a habit of doing things systematically and in an organized way. So if you are a lawyer and you're not organized, then you are in great trouble. Okay, okay, so how many of you are with me till now? How many of you have understood what I said and have any questions or any observations to share at this point? Anybody? Any questions? Any observations? Please share. Okay, if you understood, just write understood, and if you have a question, just type out the question. I'll wait for you. There are a lot of people in this session. Why don't you guys start participating? Okay. Harsh Kedia, according to you, what is the most important skill? I think the most important skill for a junior lawyer is the ability to organize, because you will be dealing with multiple things at any given point of time. And in terms of technical skill, if you are into litigation, then the most important technical skill is the ability to manage the registry, drafting, filing, registry. These things are the most critical. If you are able to handle this well as a junior, then you are a heaven sent for your senior lawyer, right? One place that you can learn this very well is from your clerks. Okay, clerks are usually, so really good clerks are always really good at all of this. They are not really good at drafting, but they're really good at filing and managing the registry. So if you can learn it from them, if you can spend some time with the court clerks of who are good at it, who are really serious about their work, who really take pride in their work, if you can connect with such clerks and learn from them, you'll go a long way in becoming a good junior. Gaurav, good question. How junior can build trust-based relationship with the senior? The trust comes from you being transparent. So a lot of juniors tend to hide their mistakes. They don't want to admit things. They want to, when no, you are going to make mistakes as a junior. You are going to mess up a few times. Sometimes you will be late to the work. Sometimes you will be, you know, stuck somewhere that you'll get shouted at. Whatever it is, very very important is to never lie, never lie, never lie, never hide anything. When there is a problem, go and tell it yourself, even if you get shouted at, even if you get into problem. Because if there's no trust between you and your senior, then you're not going anywhere. You're screwed anyway. It doesn't matter what else you do. Okay. So very, very important is to have a relationship based on trust with your senior. And that happens when you deliver bad news quickly. Deliver bad news very quickly. Made a mistake, go and tell it as soon as you come to know. Okay. You have forgot to file something, client is screwed, go and tell it immediately to your boss. Immediately. Like, fixing it is later, you can fix it later, but tell it. So the more you deliver bad news to your boss, to your senior, without delay, they might shout at you at the moment, okay, but they will come to respect you, they will come to understand you. And I'm not saying they will not fire you if you keep doing it again and again, but I'm saying that if you do it once in a while and you are quick to report it to them, rather than hiding it, okay, then it is more likely to save your ass, not get fired. Because no lawyer can afford to work with a junior who lies, who hides their mistake, who do not report the problem. Just imagine this: you have set the house on fire by mistake. Okay, that is one thing. You have set the house on fire by mistake. Great. Okay. Now, if you hide it from everybody, then the whole house will be burned down to the ground. But if you tell in time to the people who can do something about it, maybe they'll be able to save the house. They'll be less angry with you. At least they will know that if you by mistake set the house on fire, they're going to tell you. Okay. Udita is saying it's about not hiding. Lawyer can amend mistake. Even if you amend mistake, that is, if you can quickly amend the mistake, no problem. You can also inform your senior that I have made this mistake and this is how I'm going to amend it, and go and amend it. You will still earn more respect from your senior. Okay. But if you do not tell anything and they find out that you have made that mistake, even if you amend it later, they are not going to be happy. They're going to be really scared. Trust comes from what? Trust do not come from you not making any mistake. Every senior knows that juniors will make some mistake or the other. Okay. But if they know that you're not going to hide it from them, you're going to tell them, you're going to be honest with them, there's transparency between you and them, that is way better than you hiding things. Way better, way better. How to come across as an administrator in an interview with senior, right? So how to come back in an interview? So first of all, I am a great believer in truth. Okay, if you don't pretend to be things in your interview, that's anyway to backfire. So if I'm not a good administrator and I somehow tell and convince the lawyer in the interview that I'm a great administrator, it is going to backfire. But if you can show that I believe that being an administrator is very important and I'm working on it, and in fact, if you recognize the value of being a good administrator, that itself will set you apart from most other applicants. Because other applicants don't understand. They think being a lawyer is about some great brainwaves and like some crazy knowledge of law or something like that. But if they realize that you understand the importance of diligence, you understand the importance of filing things correctly, you understand the importance of managing timelines and processes, that is a very important thing. They are going to appreciate it. I had one junior, she had this sticky note. When she will even sit down for an internship, right, on her wall in front of her, she'll have these all sticky notes on a table, which will arrange every day that these are the things I want, color coded and everything. Okay. And she never missed, she never forgot anything, she never missed. She cares about organization, right? You can see that how organized she is. If she comes to give an interview, I can assure you she'll have like this file which will have like her CV neatly tucked in, and she will have some copies of her writing samples and drafting samples, and then she'll also have, like, the interviewers profile with her. Okay, so if you meet a person like that in the interview, you realize that, wow, this person is so highly prepared. Clearly she is highly organized. So you don't have to go and say I am highly organized, right? It shows. I'm so sorry. Rishabh Vakaria, what if any junior is being humiliated, dominated? What should he or she do? See, I'll tell you something. A lot of times, it's a simple thing that you don't fight the right senior. The senior may be wrong. It is not always that the junior is the wrong junior. Sometimes simply the senior is the wrong senior. Okay. So I'll tell you a story about one of my college seniors he now is a partner in big law firms. Now he's moved to a tier two law firm, and he's a very highly regarded law firm partner today. Okay, but when he graduated out of college, in 2 years, he changed 4 jobs. Okay, it's like he joined. I think he joined. He started with Amarchand, like Amarchand Mangaldas. Back then, there was no camps, and he joined Amarchand. From Amarchand to Luthra to Trilegal, and cities also like Bombay to Delhi, Delhi to Bangalore, and from Luthra to like Khaitan. He has worked in like 4 or 5 law firms. Eventually, he ended up in Luthra. Like, again, went back to Luthra in a different team from even capital markets, and eventually became a partner there. So once he found the fit, once he just found the right people, he was changing every 6 months. And I asked him, like, how can you change so much? Isn't it screwing up your CV? And he would say, no, you know what? Until I find the right senior, right team, I am going to keep changing. When I find the right team and the right senior, I'll feel, yes, I am at home over here, then I will stay there. And he did that. And then he stayed for, I think, 6 years or something in the same team, never changed after that, right? And then became a partner in the same law firm. Then the entire team left from Luthra to Indus Law, and he went along that, right? So now that happens. Like, you see, like, he has worked in the same team ever since. But in the beginning, he has changed law firm 5 times, like 4 law firms, and in the 5th one, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So you must be willing to figure out, if you're not a good fit with a senior, try out another one. We say the same thing about therapist or for a coach. If one coach is not suiting you, try another. If a therapist is not suiting you, it doesn't mean that therapy is bad. It's just that you are not with the right therapist. You try out 2, 3, 4. You're going to get lucky the next time. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, guys. So next question. Udita, I don't make mistakes. If I do, I correct them. Sure, Udita, everybody makes mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, then you either have to be like, superhuman, or that you're not doing anything at all. So if you're making mistakes, you correct them. That is the whole idea. If you see, sometimes you make a mistake, but you can't even correct them because maybe the time is gone, right? It's important to acknowledge the mistake. It is important to take responsibility for the mistake, because most people can't take responsibility of their mistake. But when you take responsibility and you acknowledge, so for example, somebody is working for me. I have 2 people, okay? One person, just imagine this for yourself for a moment. Both the persons made the same mistake, okay? Both the person made the same mistake. One person comes up on their own, or even let's say I confronted them. One person says, sir, sorry, I realize where I made the mistake. I understand how I made the mistake, and I'm not going to do this again. And whatever I can do to clean up, I'm going to clean up. If there's nothing to clean up, I assure you that I have understood why this is a mistake, and I'm not going to do it again. There's another junior, he will say, no, it is not a mistake. It is not my mistake. It is somebody else's mistake. No. So that clerk is to be blamed. No. That colleague is to be blamed. It was not my fault. Oh, my health was bad that day. You know what is the warning sign? Between these 2 people, who do you want to work with? Because the second person, I am not even sure that this person is going to take responsibility the next time. Will she make the mistake again? I'm not sure. She might make this mistake again. But the first person who acknowledged the mistake and said, I am sorry, I realize how this happened and I'll ensure this doesn't happen again. That person I trust more because it seems that he understood what happened and there's a higher chance that he'll prevent it from happening again. The other person who did not own up, who did not take responsibility, I am not sure that she or he even understood what the problem was. If somebody did not understand what the problem was, high chance that they're going to make that same mistake again. And that'll, I'll be very afraid of that. And that kind of person we do not want to work with. Okay. So I hope that clarifies the question, Lita. Ram Prasad is saying, what is the difference between joining in a law firm and working with an independent lawyer? I mean, that's a whole lot of different scenario. In a law firm, okay, every person has to be profitable. So they have to do the work. So in a junior in a law firm is not expected to behave just like a junior. They have certain kind of work that will be allocated to them and they should be able to get that work done. On the other hand, if you go to an independent lawyer, an independent lawyer do not expect you to be productive beyond a point. They have very basic expectation. Okay, you get passovers. Okay, you draft some documents. Half of the time, the thing you draft, they're going to change substantially. Okay, you brief it nicely. Okay, you do research, all of that, right? So basic expectations from individual lawyers. Most of the time, there are exceptions where an individual lawyer make you work like a law firm would make you work. But otherwise, massive difference in the level of responsibility. Both of the places will make you work hard, but in one place, you have to deliver the finished work, and in the other place, you just have to assist. So there's a difference between assisting another lawyer and actually doing the work. In a law firm, at some level, you will be expected to do most of the work. Like you'll have your part to deliver, and you have to deliver that part. And in case of individual lawyer, if you are assisting an individual lawyer, it's more about assisting rather than you doing the work. Client do not get the work you have done basically most of the time. Okay, guys, any other question I can answer? There are about 15 minutes left. Happy to answer any questions. If nobody has any questions, we can wrap up this session, I think. I'd love to wrap up earlier if nobody has any questions. Being a good junior lawyer for an individual lawyer perspective is very important, that you're just keep this in mind, that you have to make your senior successful. You are not going to be successful. If you are successful when your senior is successful because of your contribution, then you are successful. That is the most cardinal rule of assisting a litigating lawyer. Aarti is saying, I know you mentioned that your senior changed 6 jobs in 2 years, not 6, he changed 4 in 2 years. But when you were appearing in the interview, how do you explain to your interviewer the reason you changed 6 jobs in 2 years? Because most of the times it is not taken properly by the interviewer, thinking that the person cannot adjust anywhere. Absolutely, Aarti, your concern is spot on. That is what I asked him. That don't you think that you are really like screwing up your CV by shifting your job so many times? He said, there is a real problem, I realize, but I still need to find a team where I can adjust well. And he's a very smart person with a great CV, good guy. He got it, right? He got it. Madhav is asking, what seniors should do to their juniors? So yeah, so this is a very good question. See, I was forgetting to address this, Madhav. So what a junior should offer to the senior and what a senior should offer to their junior, okay? Most of the time, the biggest problem that a junior is facing is that I don't have any skills. Give me an opportunity to learn skills. Teach me something. So you must make, although most people in the industry can't do that, you must have a clear timeline and clear plan as to how much time you're going to spend with your juniors to train them, or how you're going to give them value. You must offer tremendous amount of value to the people who are being the junior for you. And very important is that you can pay money. You should pay If you pay more, nothing like it, but sometimes it's not realistic to pay a lot of money to these juniors. But you can make that up by providing value. Okay, what is the value? Value is mentorship, guidance, training, teaching, exposure, allowing them to go and argue. Now, this is what the juniors love the most. You have to give them that, and you have to tell them that I will extend you all these favors, and you will get more value here than any other lawyer. But you have to commit that you have to stay with me for 2 years or whatever is the timeline, 2 years, 3 years, whatever is the timeline. I don't think that more than that is realistic in today's world. Some people may stay back for longer, but you need to take a minimum commitment. That 2 years you're going to stay with me. If you can't commit for 2 years, don't join me. Okay, go join somebody else. You're going to stay at least 2 3 years with me. If you can commit that, join me, and otherwise do not join me. And this is very important. Okay, so if there is this commitment that okay, I am going to learn the work, you can tell them upfront that I'm going to teach you the work. By the end of 6 months you will be able to do a lot of work. I'll continue to teach you, and your teaching will be complete in 2 years. But if you leave in 6 months, then it is a problem for me, because you will learn some skill and then you leave, but I then lose the benefit of having training you, right? I am not running a training organization that you will get trained and you leave. So if you can commit to stay for 2 years, then do it. You can even sign a contract saying that I'll be training you, therefore you stay at least for 2 months or pay me some compensation, whatever. You can do that, absolutely fine. But the deal must be clear. I will train you and you will stay for 2 years or whatever is the period, right? It should not be unreasonably long, or it should be reasonably long, that you can recover your investments from the junior that you're going to teach. Otherwise, it's not going to work, right? Otherwise, it's not going to work out for you. So this is very important. While hiring, you need to make this clear. And this is a deal that I'll give you value more than others will give you. I'll give you freedom, I'll give you opportunities, but you must do it. The other thing is that when juniors see that you're actually delivering on the promise, and most of the other seniors treat their juniors not so well, in that circumstances, they will respect and honor that deal that they have made with you. Okay. Okay. And I think for juniors also, that is very important. Uh, what many good senior lawyers offer is that if you work with me for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, then I'm going to help you to get these clients, or I'm going to help you to get this panel with this government, etc. Those who are influential can offer such deals, and that is why they get and retain very good juniors over the years. So that's another example of a deal that you can offer. How make yourself worthy in financial terms to a senior? So one is that all the things we discussed, that by being very useful for the senior, that you are making the senior more successful because of your presence there. The other thing, of course, you can very easy way to add some value is by referring clients to the senior. So if there are maybe a lot of clients which you cannot really handle, they don't come to you, but you introduce them to your senior, they'll go to your senior. So in such cases, if you have such network, you can become immediately valuable financially for the senior by referring work to that senior. Okay, Madhav is saying how juniors should be handled in a way that they are trained good and retained at the practice. Deal, you have to give them a deal. And you have to have these examples that this person worked with me for 3 years and I helped him to get this panel from Delhi government or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? So whatever it is, once you can create such examples, or that look at this person who trained with me for 3 years, now he's doing so well over there. So that kind of examples, and I helped them with XYZ. So that you had a deal with people and you honored that deal with people is going to make good people want to come and intern, be your junior, and honor the deal that they make with you, that they're going to stay for 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Okay, Sonali Nagar, at the initial years of pursuing of a law degree, how a student decide what fields she want to work? This question has nothing to do with our discussion today, sorry. Aarti, my question was how to answer such a question in an interview. Do we just say directly that I was not able to find the right team? You can say so. You can tell people that, listen, I am this kind of a person, and my boss was this kind of a person, and I couldn't deal with it. Yeah, I have great respect for him. He's a great guy, and there are many people who love working with him. But I am not the right fit because, for example, I'm an introvert and I can't deal with people shouting at me. And he's a great guy. I love him. I respect him, but I could not take the pressure and I left. Or you can say that, you know what, I was working in capital markets and I don't like capital markets. I want to work in disputes, so I left. I realized after doing 6 months of capital markets that I'm not cut out for it, so I left. Honesty pays off. People are going to anyway ask around about you, right? They're going to do a background check. They're going to ask your classmates. They're going to ask other people who worked at that firm, what is Aarti's reputation? What kind of person is she? So they're going to hear things. So the more honest you are and you give them a coherent, cogent reason and an honest reason, you know, honesty is really underrated. The more honest you are, people believe you. People trust you when you're honest. That, you know, I understand it looks really bad on my CV. I left so many jobs, but this is why. I was sick. This happened, that happened, whatever it is. I was not able to adjust to any of these teams, but because I had this problem. Now I have sorted this problem. Now I'm ready to adjust to a team. Maybe that is the answer, right? Whatever is the answer, it has to be cogent, coherent, intelligible, understandable. If something did not work in the past, why will it work now? If there's a pattern in the past, you need to say that I saw the pattern and I changed. I saw the pattern and I decided to break that pattern. Now I'm a different person. So whatever happened in the past is not going to happen anymore. Okay. So many examples, many explanations can be there. Ram Prasad, in a law firm and other law offices, there are some internal politics between lawyers. How to handle as a junior lawyer, how to handle politics in the office as a junior lawyer. Okay, how to handle politics. Okay, tricky question. So, how to handle politics, in my opinion, that's it. First of all, understand and accept that in every office there will be some kind of politics. Now, number one, never gossip. Do not gossip, do not participate in gossip. Okay. If somebody is saying something negative about another person, saying bad things, do not be a part of that. Okay. Just, respectfully withdraw yourself. And maybe if you're a junior, you will not be able to stop the gossip. So first of all, avoid gossip. Sometimes you can just listen to it and don't respond, but do not participate in gossip. Do not do gossip mongering. This is the number one rule. Number two rule is that understand that what is the politics all about? Is the politics about power? Is the politics about resources? Is the politics about something else? And how can you contribute to others? So when you, without being asked, you start contributing to others, politics goes away, it disappears. I have written an entire article on how to deal with politics in law firms. You can read that. I can't cover all of that today right away, but basic two rules are these. Okay, add value to others and do not participate in gossip. That will really help you, and accept that there will be politics everywhere you go. There will be politics. Can't be helped. It can be good politics, right? So you can do good politics by helping people. Don't do bad politics. Don't try to harm people. Don't try to oppress people. Do not try to show people down. Do not demean people. So basic rules, right? Being good, being nice, being transparent is important. Okay, I've shared the article with everyone, how to deal with politics. Okay, guys, I think we have had enough time to discuss all this. Thank you very much. Can I have your feedback? Out of 0 to 10, 0 for really bad and 10 for very good, how much marks will you give me? And also do tell me, so just share a number, and also tell me that what topics would you like me to take up in future classes, so that I can keep that in mind and work on that. And any feedback otherwise, apart from a number, what you benefited from the session, what you liked, what you're taking away, what you're going to do now after listening to all this, anything that you are going to stop doing after this session that you learned, anything, any benefits, do share please.